In today's global economy, making decisions about money can be increasingly challenging. Having a way to learn about new opportunities is just what you need. Welcome to Smart Money Secrets TV with your host, Yemi Jimason.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are joined today by Rich Jacoby, who is here representing GoldenCrest Metals. And we're so excited to have him here with a guest with us today. And we want to welcome our viewers. We're going to be sharing some information on why we invited Rich, what Rich has to share with us. And we're so excited you're getting to join us on this very special interview we get to do with Rich today. Now, so I want to talk a little bit about our guest today, and everyone. This is Rich Jacoby, and he's joining us from California, and I know that I'm on the East Coast, he's on the West Coast, and while we have our time differences, one of the things we do have in common is some of the unstable things that are happening with the US dollar right now. And everyone is in a place where they're really worried. So before we dive into solutions, Rich, tell us about your background in precious metal industry and what drew you to this space.
Well, for the past 30 years, I've been in the finance and real estate development business. I received my undergrad in accounting, and I have a master's in business. And what drew me to precious metals is I was actually a day trader for some time. And the volatility with day trading and stocks really didn't appeal to me. So I was looking for something more stable and something that's a proven entity. And that's kind of what drew me to gold and silver. It was something that over the trend, it actually climbed from what you can see in a 10-year trend. And it wasn't something I had to watch on the computer every 10 or 15 minutes to see if it was going up or down.
Right.
So that's one of the things that really drew to me, and actually providing that service to our customers.
Was there a specific moment or event that made you realize that gold was a key part of wealth preservation?
I would say when I was following trends, that was mostly the moment for me, because when I was looking at my day trading and looking at the stocks and being in the finance industry and seeing things, move the way they do, I really had kind of this moment where I saw gold and silver, and I saw kind of how it behaved. It does dip and it climbs, but it makes, subtle movements.
Right.
And it's in it for the long game. You're not in it for the short game if you're in gold and silver. And I was looking for a long game. And that's really kind of what drew me to it, because, there are no real get rich quick schemes. This
Right.
is something that you have to invest, long term for it to see a return.
I'm glad you said that, because one of the things that folks often turn to right away when they're in a moment of crisis, or they're looking for some solutions, they're looking for that quick fix. But right now, with the economic uncertainty, inflation, and concerns about flat currency, many Americans are thinking about how to protect their wealth. What should they be considering right now?
Well, gold and silver is a good way to hedge against inflation. It's one of the proven entities over, thousands of years. And, this was all done through research that is always proven to be our currency. And it still will be in the future, in my opinion. So that's kind of one of the things that I look at.
Yeah, that's a very good point you brought up. We can see in stories all over time. I don't even think it matters what part of the world you're from. One of the things that's concurrent across is that on every stage or any level, when you're looking at history, when folks are recognizing or referencing wealth, they're talking about that gold, that presence of gold there, that metal that's in there. So can you share, a background in the precious metal space? How did gold and silver help, retirement or maintain long financial stability?
So most of the customers that are calling us are afraid of a number of things. The digital dollar, the fiat currency, the BRICS. a
Yes.
number of issues, and they're worried about what's going to happen in the future because there's political uncertainty of how things are going. There's tariffs going in place, and then they get removed a couple days later. So we have to constantly adjust on our side, and it's put fear in a lot of people. So a lot of customers, potential customers, call us and say, "What do we do?" And we try to educate them. We're not financial advisors, but we try to educate them like, listen, we're a precious metals company, and we try to protect your assets through this exact commodity, through gold and silver. And a lot of people, will steer towards that. And we tell them, listen, if, like I said before, you have to look at this as a 3 to 5 year, stay. If you're looking for a 1 or 2 year, return, this isn't the right investment for you. But if you're looking to protect your assets and have, a return of some type, then this is probably the right avenue for you to go to.
I like that you said that. It's helping folks understand what's better, and I think what a lot of folks are looking for right now is that level of comfort. Like, how can they find that comfort in terms of um, um, something that's going to provide some stability for them. You reference, the different types of currency, and it, whether or not they have their things in those places. And like you said, we're not financial advisors, but just talking about solutions here for our viewers, for Americans, that they can look to in a place where they're feeling nervous or they're feeling some sense of fear. If I want to have that peace of mind, um, for someone who is watching, that peace of mind sounds like it might be gold.
And silver as well. Silver seems to be on the climb because of AI, technology, solar panels, electric cars. Silver is actually climbing as well on a percentage basis. Gold is in demand as well. So, they're both, trailing each other. So at this point, when we have customers or potential customers call us, we educate them on what's going on with silver and gold, and you tell them what the trends are, and we let them make up their own mind. We don't try to instill fear,
Right.
which I won't do at all.
Right.
I let the customer make up their own mind. I try to educate them, and I leave it to them how much they want to invest, and what comfortability is. There's some customers we've turned away that we felt that they were being too aggressive,
Right.
and we knew it'd be a problem down the road where they would say, hey, listen, we invested all this money, why am I not showing a huge return?
Right.
And and I have to say this isn't the right form for this.
Right. You're right. I'm glad that this is you're not coming like you're a car salesman applying pressure. You're helping folks understand the service that's available. And I'm glad you made another point that we're not just looking at the value of gold, but even silver. And how does silver even compare? And I was glad that you were talking about how that is a resource that's being used a lot. The, why, for the user, or excuse me, for the viewer and Americans who might not understand, when a resource is being used up so much, how does that impact the value of it? I mean, to me it makes sense. It's just simple supply and demand. But for folks that are out there, when they're trying to think of currency, or when they're trying to think of something that has value, often we lose ourselves in the dollar, or we lose ourselves in being able to take our credit card to the store, but not understanding, hey, if I invest in something like this that has this level of value, there could be
I
some
think
return.
you hit it right on the head. It's supply and demand. Right now, there is a huge demand for gold and silver, because of what's going on. So we're trying to keep up with the supply, based on the demand. So, and we're trying to keep our prices fair to the point where we're not price gouging people because of what's going on with the demand factor. So, I treat all the customers the same, whether they're, investing $10,000 or, $1 million. I treat them all the same. Some of the customers, I give my cell phone number direct so they can reach me, so they feel they have that personal relationship with us, because I try to run it kind of like a boutique business. When I did the business program for this company, I didn't want to do transactions all day long and that's it. I wanted to build relationships with clients so they come back to us and say, I had a good experience with them. Even if they don't use this, I want them to say they had a good experience, but they went with somebody else. So I really concentrate on the customer service side of it and education.
I think that that's an awesome thing that you're bringing up there. And speaking of which, I promise we're not going to have everybody calling your personal cell phone. That'll be
Yeah,
something that's
thanks.
totally up to you. But as you know, as you all are watching right now, you can see we have the number up on the screen right now. Please feel encouraged to call that number to learn more. I want to go right to what you were saying about what makes you unique, what makes you kind of different. You have a unique selling proposition and for a limited time and some limited time offers. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So we offer up to 10% free silver on qualified purchases and storage as well. So depending on if it's a qualified purchase, um, what will happen is we'll implement that. Now people say, how do you do that? You can't do it. My overhead is built differently, and I work kind of on a reduced margin than normal companies do. I mean, nobody knows exactly what margins everyone's working on, but I know what margins make my break-even point and what I feel comfortable with. And I want to get back to the consumer or the customer, because a lot of these people, have been taken advantage of, or they've fallen on hard times, and this is what they have, and their savings, and I'm trying to protect it. So for the most part, I would say, I just want to go out there, do a good job, give customer service, and make a little bit of money, and that's really it.
Yeah, that doesn't bother any of us here. It makes sense to me. I mean, that's the way you do business. But what's so nice is that you're also offering such great incentives for folks who are watching right now, as well as folks who are looking at solutions to these uncertain times. Now, if I'm, just thinking about the person who's watching this, and they're interested and taking those next steps. You talked about sharing the space. What does that mean? If I don't know anything about this and I'm interested in taking that next step, what how does sharing the space with me, is it like data where like it's like AWS space? What makes this a valuable asset for them to know? Why is it such an important incentive for the folks who are watching right
Well, I think it's an important incentive because of the free silver. Because silver's in demand, as it is right now. Getting that free silver is an extra bump to their getting that return to them faster. It's not going to change, it to 3 years to 1 year, but it, gives them a little bit of a jump start. And that's what we're looking to do, is give them a jump start. And I invite people who call to speak with our representatives and see how they feel about things. Talk to other companies as well. It's, fair competition among everyone. And I want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable that they do business with GoldenCrest Metals, that they have a good experience, like I said. But talk to other companies and see how you feel. There's a lot of good companies out there as well that provide a good service. We're just trying to provide a little bit more.
now? I think that's awesome. I think that's one of the things that sets you apart as a company from the other folks. And I like that you were saying, go speak to them, learn more about them. But these incentives are some of the things that help to set you apart. For those who are watching and thinking about getting started, what's the first step they should take?
The first step is, calling the number that's on the screen and talking with one of our representatives, about their interest, their concerns, what they're looking to invest, what their interest is in gold and silver. Just basically download everything that you have to us, and then we'll, come back to you and say, okay, this is what we think, in our opinion. Like I said, we're not financial advisors, but we
Right.
can put you into certain metals, and and get them excited about it.
That is exciting. That's exciting. Now, I do understand. There are folks in my life that I know, that say that, to me, hey, you're the one who can handle phone calls. I don't feel like talking to anyone. So, for those of you out there who, and I completely understand, don't feel like having those long conversations with anyone, we do have a link down in the description that you can click on that will take you to the place that can answer some more of those questions. Now, what happens when they click on that link and it takes them to that information page? What information can they find out on that page?
Well, usually you get the free handbook, which is the wealth protection guide and the gold IRA guide as well. So we'll provide that information. And some people who are not tech savvy, they're more than welcome to call us, and we'll FedEx a hard copy to them as well.
Very nice, very nice. And we all know as fast as the world is moving, you got AI out there controlling everything. You want to make sure some of the folks can still have access to the information. And so even if you're not tech savvy, go ahead, click on that link. You'll be able to find out more information there at that link. Now, I do want to go a little bit into, how does gold compare to other markets during this particular time? And again, I want to remind everyone we're not a financial advisor. We're strictly talking about GoldenCrest Metals right now and some of the things that they offer, and just sharing some information with you. If you're interested in learning more, you can call the number that's right there on your screen right now, and or go to the link that's in the description. But tell us right now, Rich, a little bit more about how gold and silver compare to some of the other options.
It just depends on what your tolerance is. If you have, a certain type of tolerance, then the stock market may be, the path for you. Um, like I said, in my past, I couldn't deal with it stress wise. It was too much stress.
Right.
Gold and silver are, like I said, a stable asset. And it's been proven, and if you read history books, it's been proven time and time again. So we can't predict if it's going up or it's going down. I just know that based on historical data that it's stable for us.
Right.
So yes, there's political uncertainty of what's going to happen, but from what we've seen since Donald Trump took office, or President Trump took office, nothing drastically has changed with gold and silver in
Right.
pricing. So we feel pretty confident, at least I do,
Yeah.
proceeding forward.
Right. I think those are some good points because a lot of times folks get worried about the geopolitical state. But I mean, we could say we're in the 80s right now with the Iran Contra, or we could say we're in the 60s right now, dealing with some of the in the you know Vietnam War as we're moving into the 70s, and all of those periods of time, of uncertainty. One of the things that remained, something that was concurrent across all things, gold was always something that folks could reference as something that was associated with wealth. And so I feel like if I'm in a place, I know if I'm in a place where I'm nervous about the way things are, and I want some peace of mind, and I'm out here, looking at the way things are going, and I'm not sure where to move things, and I just have a few questions. I feel comfortable knowing that I can call that phone number right here on the screen that we have, and or click the link that's right there in the description to go and learn a little bit more about what GoldenCrest Metals has to offer. Now, Rich, I really want to thank you for joining us here on our inaugural episode here. I've hosted other podcasts before. I've had the great opportunity of interviewing other folks, and I will say I'm really honored to have you as my inaugural guest here.
Oh, same. Thank
I,
you.
yeah, I want to ask you. Do you have any final advice for folks who are watching this today, and things that they could, some possible solutions they could find if they if they call that phone number and or visit that link?
One of the pieces of advice, and I learned this from the finance industry, is you can never guarantee a return to anyone on anything. Everything is a risk.
Right.
It's just a matter of anybody who guarantees a return, let me know because
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I'll invest.
Yeah.
Because, and I try to tell people that too, is like, listen, I can't guarantee anything. The only
Right.
thing I can do is provide an education to you, and then the decision is up to you on how you want to invest your money. And we provided all the tools to you and how you make that decision. And I just, when customers are out there talking to other gold companies, make sure that they're not, guaranteeing a return,
Yeah.
and what you're getting, and price shop.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people all the time. Shop around. When people call us and say, hey, listen, what's your price on a quarter ounce Australian striped marlin, I'll give them the price, and I said, check it out with other people too.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy the competition. you
Yeah.
know
It makes for a good competition and good game. And just to remind those who are watching, let's talk about those incentives once again. And remember, everyone, if you're just joining us, or if you're just tuning in and seeing this, definitely call right away. Call that phone number you see on the screen, and or visit that link there in the bottom. You know, again, remind us, Rich, what sets GoldenCrest Metals apart?
I'm going to say our customer service, our promotions, and just running it as kind of a boutique business. I would say those are kind of the three things that I really pride myself on. Um, I want to
Yeah.
keep it manageable to the point where if a customer ever has a problem, I'm able to call them directly,
Nice.
and not pass them off to somebody else.
Nice.
So, and I
Nice.
think very few companies get to talk to the owner of a company. So,
Right.
and I
You're
want to
reading
keep
my
it,
mind.
yeah, and I want to, I know people say that's not sustainable. Well, I don't want to be huge. I just want to be able to be comfortable. And
Right.
that's kind of how I'm building the company.
Very nice. And it turns out to be such a great choice for anyone who's interested. And I encourage you, if you're watching this right now, definitely call that phone number that's on the screen. Visit the link that's in there. If you're looking for a long-term asset that's going to keep you in a place where you have a sound mind, and not worried about a shaky market and your fears about the instability of the dollar. Right now, if you are in that place, I encourage you, call that phone number, visit that link, learn more about GoldenCrest Metals, what they have to offer, their incentives that are available to you for a short period of time. And then you may end up being that lucky person that gets to get that phone call from Rich Jacoby. And Rich, I can't thank you enough again for joining us here. It is such a pleasure to have you here with us on our inaugural podcast and videocast program. And and I welcome you back again. Would you be on board with joining us again
I
to
would
share more
love to come
details?
back again. Yeah,
That
anytime.
that would be awesome. And thank you all for joining us. And I'm your host, Yemi Jimason, and I welcome you to visit us again. We're going to continue to do more and more episodes every week to share information with you on the best steps you can take. And I encourage you right now, call that phone number, visit that link that's right there down in the description to learn a little bit more about the best next steps you can take with GoldenCrest Metals. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.